Welcome back to Channel 10. Meteorologist Tony Salimo has this season's weather for us, including what we can expect with the hurricane season and why the tornado activity around the U.S. has been so high. Take a look.
The hurricane season begins on June 1st, or began on June 1st, and the Tropical Prediction Center, National Weather Service, National Hurricane Center, they do analysis of global conditions that tell us about the number of storms that we might see in a given season. The average is about 10 storms. Out of that 10, 3 become hurricanes, 2 become major hurricanes, category 130 mile per hour winds or higher, category 3 or higher. This year we're looking at another active season. We had a very active season last year, but none hit land, fortunately. This year we're looking at 15 named storms, with perhaps 7 becoming hurricanes and 3 or 4 majors. So it is going to be an active season that is continuing what we call the multi-decadal active periods that runs about 30 years. This cycle began in 1995, so we are well into that. The tornado activity has been well above average this year, a combination of things occurring. One, there's been an extremely cold pool of air up over the Arctic regions, and some of that cold air has been breaking off and dropping into the United States further south than normal. And it's also colder than normal. This is in the upper reaches of the atmosphere. What we had happening this year was these upper lows have been dropping south and combining with warm, moist air coming out of the Gulf. And since these upper lows have been so strong, they've been generating these large tornado outbreaks. It's not so much the number that's well above normal, but it's the number of tornadoes that have reached the category EF4 and 5s that we've seen. So many of those, and those are the ones like the Joplin, Missouri tornadoes, the tornado in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, that were near EF4 and 5s that are total devastation when they move through. The United States is affected by tornadoes more than any country in the world, and the primary spot is the center of the nation in the flat area. We call it Tornado Alley. It's not only the flat and open regions that are uninhibited by hills, but the combination of cool, dry air sinking out of Canada down over the Rockies. That's where it collides with the tropical moisture coming out of the Gulf. And where those two come together, it's most commonly in that Tornado Alley area, such as Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, up into parts of Nebraska and North and South Dakota. The way the pattern has been is that these systems have been remaining quite strong. And this is the same type of pattern that generated the big East Coast storms, where we had these cold pools of air come out of Canada, and they would merge into a coastal low, and then that would bring the heavy snows up the eastern seaboard. New Jersey has an average of 3 tornadoes a year. Our most active time is late April through June, early June. The last season that we had well above normal tornadoes is 1989, where we had 17 touchdown, and that year there was 1 in Sussex County, there were 2 in Warren County, and right on the border down there, Hackettstown. 2 years ago we had a fairly substantial EF1 tornado that went through Wantage up in the Beamerville area. And then several years ago, one of the largest tornadoes ever in New Jersey was in 1971, the Great Flanders tornado, which was an EF3. And that storm took out a lot of homes in the Flanders area.
A scale helps meteorologists determine how big a storm is.
The scale goes from 0 to 5, and that tells us the strength of the winds. An EF0 would be 95 mile per hour winds, all the way up to an EF5, which have been recorded up to 318 mile per hour winds. So the storms, the 2 really big ones this year, Tuscaloosa and Joplin, were in the lower EF5, where the winds are up over 238 miles per hour. I have my own blog spot where I do daily alerts. As you see on the screen here, it's metts-alerts.blogspot.com. And I do a daily analysis of what's going to happen, like we have this particular day, severe storm watch, and then I'll give a little explanation of some of the terminology and then a daily forecast. So if you have any questions or you're looking for alerts for our county, and statewide, it's a statewide alert, so it concerns the shore in southern New Jersey for traveling and that kind of thing, you can just go to that website. It's also linked off of the Sussex County Community College website under weather alerts.